Earlier in the hour, we talked about the latest ISM data reaching an 11-month high. Now let's bring back Kathleen Hays, this time with a special guest. Kathleen?
Mark, thank you so much. Norbert Orr chairs the ISM Manufacturing Business Survey Committee, which put together today's report and has for many, many years. Well, Norbert, welcome back.
Thank you.
So first of all, I'd like to ask you about the comment you had in the press release this morning when you said that all these numbers suggest, these U.S. numbers from overseas, that the global economy is recovering, but it would be difficult to convince many manufacturers we're on the brink of recovery. We saw a lot of hopeful signs in this report. Why do you say that?
Kathleen, in the manufacturing sector, we ask for comments each month from our members, and the comments are still quite negative in terms of most manufacturers' business is off somewhere between 10 and 30% from last year. They're still trying to make inventory corrections. They're not seeing a big jump, and I think that's the message here. Is this is a very slow recovery. It's been consistent starting in December that we saw our data increase about 2 points a month. This month, the really encouraging thing is it's up 4 points, and but again, we've got a little ways to go before we see growth in manufacturing.
Well, explain how this works then, because we see the production index above 50 again. We see new orders rising above 50, and I think one thing we all forget is that your survey is getting comments from people. Are things increasing, declining, or staying the same? So it's kind of subjective. We're not getting really absolute numbers on what's going on in manufacturing, correct?
That's right. We're measuring month-over-month change. And in looking at that, it says that July was better than June, maybe as much as 10% better, but still we're coming off of a bottom that many manufacturers have not seen business this bad, since 9/11, and it's certainly recovered much quicker during that period of time.
So in other words, you mentioned a couple of months ago when I asked you about this, Norbert, that people are adjusting to the new normal. So things are better, but you're saying you're recovering off of a fairly low base of activity, correct?
That's correct.
So let's look at some of the reasons why you see this recovery and why all these manufacturers do. How much is it the turnaround in autos?
I think the transportation sector is one of those that's showing a little bit of growth in activity month over month. So that's going to help. But overall, the economy is dependent on both autos and housing, and neither one of those are stellar right now.
How much is it dependent on the fiscal stimulus? Has that made much of a difference yet?
I don't think that we see anything. One of our comments from one of our respondents this month was there's no stimulus in manufacturing. I think that's probably an overstatement. I think some industries, like those that are concerned with road building, construction, I think those are seeing probably a lift from the stimulus.
So what's going to happen, Norbert? Is the recession over? Is it ending? What do manufacturers need right now?
I think it is over. Sometime this month, next month, it's probably going to be there. I look to next month. I would fully expect that our index would probably be positive for the first time after 18 months of decline or 19 months of decline. But where we go from there is, I think, into very low growth, 2.5%. And it takes more than 2% growth for manufacturing to grow, so it's still a slow road for manufacturing.
Okay, and very quickly, Norbert, we're just about out of time here. This also indicates, even though slow growth, some growth. You say GDP in the range of about 2.5% now?
That's what I would expect.
Okay. Norbert Orr from the Institute of Supply Management's Business Survey Committee. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mark, sending it back to you.
Kathleen, Mr. Orr, thanks.